Hey, what are the top 10 things you need to consider before starting a Nano Reef aquarium? Now, these probably apply to any aquarium, but since I am specifically starting a Nano Reef aquarium, I thought I would start with my top 10 things to consider. Now, a little confession here. I don't really know if these are in any sort of an order or if they're really even like specifically the top 10 that I would rank if I really spent a lot of time thinking about it. What I did was I simply said, what is the first 10 things that came to my mind, and then I put them down, not even really in any sort of a rank order. And what I would love to hear is how many of you guys think that some of these should not be on a top 10 list, or even better, what would you put on your top 10 list? So tell me what you like about this list. Tell me what to add to this list, because these are the things that I'm thinking about. And if I've missed something, I want you to tell me so I don't miss it. So drop it in the comments, please. So as you guys might not know, I am building a Nano Reef tank. This is going to be my DIY sump right here. I have a 10-gallon sump. I'm only looking to have a 6.6 gallon display. I know some people are all freaked out that my sump is going to be bigger than my display, but I just want more water volume. Anyways, I'm going to cover all of that, but as I get started, I came up with this top 10 list. So here we go. So number one that I came up with was time. How much time are you going to have to spend on your tank? That's kind of important, right? Are you putting your tank at home? Are you working all the time? Do you travel a lot? Do you have kids in every sport under the sun and you're traveling from baseball to ballet to cheerleading? Then you got to hit the gym, and then you and your wife both work. You go camping on the weekends, okay? How much time you have is probably something that is going to determine what level of tank you can have, what size tank you have, what type of maintenance schedule you're going to need to have. So think about how much time do you actually have for the hobby. Number two, what type of tank do you want to have, right? Do you want to have a fish tank, a mixed reef tank, a softy tank? Are you going to have SPS and LPS? Because that stuff is going to make a big difference as far as what kind of lighting and filtration that you need. And so you're going to want to decide what type of tank do you think you're going to want to have. Number three, what's your budget? And that might even go back with the other one, right? Number two, like your budget might determine what type of tank that you're going to have. That's kind of the situation I'm in. I have put myself on a very limited budget. And so that's why I'm going, one of the reasons why I'm going with such a small nano tank, and that I'm trying to do some stuff myself and document how I can do things a little bit cheaper. Number four, is this for a hobby or is this for decoration? Now that's a big deal to me because I'm not necessarily looking for the best looking tank, the best looking setup, the best looking stand, right? I don't need this sump that's like a lot of these sumps that has like colored acrylic and it looks super pretty. I'm gonna make a sump that works and that functions because I wanna screw around with it. Like I like dicking around, and I don't care if something breaks a little bit and I gotta redo my sump and try something different. That's kind of like the hobby to me, right? It gives me something to do. I enjoy spending time on my tank to a degree. Right, to a degree, but I still want something small so that maintenance and that hobby and that time is manageable and it's fun. It's not really a demand. It's something I can enjoy as a hobby. If I wanted to just have something super pretty and put downstairs in my living room, I would change things up significantly. So once again, that goes to my number five. What size tank do you want? Because that's going to determine a lot of things. If you're saying, I don't want a nano tank, well, that's good. You can have a lot more options. If you're like, I want a Pico tank, I want super small. Well, once again, that's going to determine your budget. You're not going to need as much, but it's also going to limit you as far as fishes and corals and what you can have in your tank. And then number six, this is important. Think about your future plans, right? So what you want to be thinking about is what if you are starting with a nano tank, but you, because of budget reasons, but you kind of know that you're gonna want a bigger tank. Well, you might want to think about purchasing equipment that can be modified, right? Like certain pumps, like a nice controllable DC pump and a lot of controllable LED lights. You can use them on a much lower setting for a much smaller tank, but then you could move those over to a larger tank in the near future and just increase the intensity or how much GPM your pump is pumping out. See where I'm getting at? So just an example of think to the future, or maybe like a sump. Maybe you have a nano tank and you're running this super small pump. Like maybe I'm gonna be mad that I didn't do a 20-gallon sump for a 6-gallon nano aquarium, because maybe I want to upgrade and then I could still use my same sump, because it's hard to go too big on some things. So consider what your future plans are. Number 7, where do you want to put the tank? All of a sudden you have all these plans and then you decide I want to put my tank like right here on this little shelf. Well, I need to determine, do I have room down here for my sump? Maybe I wanted a certain size tank, but this shelf here has certain dimensions. So it sounds simple, but just make sure you think it through. Maybe you're like, oh shit, there's this gigantic window right here that I didn't think about, and I normally leave it open. That's gonna be a problem. So just think it through where you're gonna put your tank. If you're going nano in particular, do you want an all-in-one? Do you want a sump? Do you want a refugium in your sump, or a refugium, excuse me? Just think about that. That's kind of a little thing, but that's something that was on my point, right? Do you want to, and so there you go. That was number 9, really. So number 8 was, you're going to go all in one, or you're going to use a sump. And then number 9 was, are you going to have a refugium or not? Or are you just going to run a skimmer? Are you going to run a refugium and a skimmer? I'm going to actually try all 3 in this little guy. I'm going to have the filter sock, the refugium, and a protein skimmer. Probably overkill. I'm probably going to have not enough nutrients, and I'm going to have to be careful about that. But that's all part of the hobby and the tinkering, right? And then number 10, what resources are available to you, right? So you want to know what resources are in your local area, get to know your local hobbyists, get on Facebook, Instagram, join some groups, find out what forums are online, and ask questions and be open to the answers. So anyways, guys, there you go. There was my top 10 things to consider before starting your nano reef tank, or any reef tank really, or any aquarium really. But what do you guys think of my list? What would you add to the list? What would you take off the list? Help me out. What have I forgot to think about with my build that I have coming up? Thanks, guys. Do me a favor. Hit like, subscribe, drop a comment. Once again, I'm going to be documenting every single step of my process. I haven't even started the build. I just got this tank for $9.99. That's the only reason I even have it. My do-it-yourself baffle kit actually is supposed to arrive any moment tonight. And so look for my next video on that kit, because I'm going to do an unboxing on that. Thanks, guys.